Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tuesday's Market SITREP here at Top Gun Options. Matthew Buckley, call sign Wiz, and today is the day, folks. After market close, the Death Star reports earnings, and of course, we all know, or you should know, that the Death Star is Amazon. Great run out of Amazon for the past. Well, let's just take a look at the 3-month chart here. Look at that. Boom, that's a 1-month chart. Nice rip your face off rally, but like we've seen with other tech, Microsoft and Apple earnings a couple weeks ago, what's the Wall Street ism I like to remind you of? Buy the rumor, sell the news. Okay, so we're going to talk about this actually on Friday because we wrapped up our industry-leading full throttle training last week, but Solo Amazon is a separate service here at Top Gun Options. So I'm going to give a free Solo Amazon brief this Friday, February 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern, okay? Register for free. All you need to do is head to go.topgunoptions.com/solo-brief. Okay, the name of this service is Solo Amazon. So head to go.topgunoptions.com/solo-brief. And just for registering, I'll throw in a free options pocket checklist and our 7-step trade plan. We're having a blast trading Amazon. In this portfolio, how's our Amazon doing year to date? Up $34,000. So you'll see I own 200 shares of Amazon, and I just sold a little while ago, about an hour ago, 2 of the 3,400 calls. What's that do? No matter what, by Friday, I make about 16, 17 grand in Amazon. If Amazon blows out, I still make the 16 grand on top of the 24, 25 that it's up right now. If it doesn't blow through 3,400, stays where it is or goes down a little bit, I still keep the 16 grand. Now, over in this other portfolio on this other computer, I also have 4 synthetic stock contracts out to January of 2023. I'm going to keep those. I'm going to hold on to those. So I kind of have a little bit of a hedge going on here. I have synthetic stock position. If Amazon earnings are a blowout and it keeps running, I print money over in that trade. If it blows out and keeps running, I have money in this trade, just not as much, but don't have any FOMO with this. So it's all Amazon after the close. I don't care about Alphabet. Google, not going to call it Alphabet, it's Google. I hope they go out of business. Can't stand it. They're an arm of the People's Liberation Army of China. Remember, General Joseph Dunford a couple years ago testified under oath in front of Congress and said, Google is not an American company. It's working for the People's Liberation Army. That's around the time they removed the do no evil saying from their headquarters and their guiding precepts, and also around the time that they said the Pentagon does not align with their corporate values. So you figure it out. Google is a disgraceful company, and I hope they go out of business. But Amazon is fantastic. It's what we call the Death Star, and I think it's going to print money tonight. I mean, the last, what was it, May? Whenever Q2 earnings were like 501, and then the August ones were like 10. 100% increase, folks. We're looking at some pretty serious upside with Amazon. Amazon poised for record sales from pandemic charged online holiday shopping. E-commerce giant scaled up massive to handle surging demands for goods with people stuck at home. Remember, folks, I'm telling you, the main reason Jeff Bezos has been as quiet as a church mouse is because what? During this whole time, people were screaming, open us up, open small businesses up. You're destroying us. You're destroying the economy. You're literally putting businesses into the dirt. And who was the beneficiary? Amazon. Love or hate Amazon. I hate it, but I love it. They're going to end up printing money. So we'll see if this is a breakout, or do we sell the news like a Microsoft or Apple. Now, remember, folks, even if we sell the news, blowout earnings, but they weren't blowout enough to make the street happy, and it pulls back. What, Amazon's done? No, folks. Just like Microsoft and Apple, they sold the news and people jumped back into it this week. Matter of fact, just about, half an hour ago, I just bought another 1,000 shares of Microsoft and sold some upside calls against it. Now I have 3,000 shares of Microsoft. Take a look at what happened. Let's look at Microsoft. Buy the rumor. Actually, we did, we sold, there's the earnings right here. Sold the news, and this little chop was all the stupid GameStop and Dave Portnoy stuff in here. But look at that monster run out of Microsoft. This account, folks, this is one of my personal accounts I manage, has one, look at this, market value. See that column that says market value? So right now I have about $663,000 of Amazon, and nearly, 719. This portfolio is trading $1.4 million worth of positions. So I put my money where my mouth is. Now let's put my money where my ass is, like with a Nokia. This was a Foray. Okay, this was the GameStop, AMC, Nokia. I wanted to see if the unwashed masses could actually do something. And of course, as I predicted yesterday, it would fail, and it's failed miserably. So here's what happens when Wiz does a Foray. He fails. I'm down 14 grand in these Nokia shares that I bought the other day. Sold some short calls against it to try and make a little bit of coin back. This was dumb, folks. When I do Forays, they end up badly. They're stupid, right? So the most shorted stocks are crashing. It was a 3 or 4 day. Remember, folks, short squeezes end. I told you last week, buy this dip. This is not the big one. There were people panicking, and also I said, nope, we will bounce off this 50-day moving average, and we bounced with some airspeed. Went through 3,800 today with some airspeed. If we do sell the news on Amazon, tomorrow, I think this 3,800 turns into support. This was just a little chop. This is what I call a relief pullback. We kind of needed this after 2.5, almost 3 months of just straight up, and every one of these dips really wasn't that big. This was needed, but this was a buy the dip. Remember last January and February, I was the only guy out there saying, don't listen to any of the so-called Wall Street smart money when they tell you to buy the dip. Misery loves company. They'll get their asses handed to them. And we imploded, and we made millionaires at Top Gun Options. Me, I told you to buy this dip, and look at that bounce. If Amazon does what I think it's going to do, I think we might even get back up to where we started this little GameStop implosion here. So all those most shorted stocks are crashing. Hell, GME went down to what, 77 today? My God, people were buying the 1,000 strike calls out a couple months from now. AMC, the silver futures. I also did a foray into the SLV yesterday, pre-market open. Completely stupid. 2 stupid moves out of me recently. Thank God for my Ma, right? Thank God for Ma. When in doubt, run to Ma. Microsoft, Apple, Amazon. My Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon are saving me. So ignore my stupidity. Oh, and these trades too. Look at these. I put this one on yesterday. This is a bear call spread on VXX. So we got bearish on volatility, and in one day that trades up 77% or 2,400 bucks in a day. Isn't that sweet? Or 2,900 bucks total. Or no. Open liquid gain right there. This trade by Friday, as volatility comes in, could potentially make 3,900 bucks. This was a no-brainer too, folks. When I say, hey, this thing's going to bounce, because the VIX spiked up like through 30 on this down thing, and on this thing, it went down, right? So how do you also know that the rebellion, the unwashed masses rebellion is over? The Wall Street Journal, the paper of record for Wall Street, they started one of these live coverage threads because things were happening so quickly. They do this. Live coverage concluded. This is funny. Live coverage concluded. So it was over with. Dave Portnoy, the leader of the unwashed masses, the not Robin Hood, because he was ripping Robin Hood apart, right? This guy's been on the media for the past week. He closed out his GameStop and AMC shares at a $700,000. Vlad, the CEO or the founder of Robinhood, Vlad and company stole it from me and should be in jail. This guy is not going to let this down. Last week he tweeted, I will burn Robinhood app to the ground if they shut down free market trading. Which I told you guys last week. Stevie Cohen, Ken Griffin at Citadel, these people have more money than God, and they're not going to lose. Ken Griffin at Citadel has the former Fed chief, Ben Bernanke, on his board. Janet Yellen, the current Treasury Secretary and former Fed chief after Ben Bernanke, gave $7 million worth of speeches to Citadel, Goldman Sachs. These guys on Wall Street aren't stupid, folks. They're going to pay to put these people in their pocket. And the unwashed masses just didn't have the organizational capability to move from one to the other. Plus, the hedge funds yesterday started deploying bots into the Wall Street Reddit board over here, telling people to buy SLV. Right? So now the retail traders started eating themselves. But folks, we knew this was going to end. You have to take, what was everybody going to own GameStop forever? No, you're not going to make money. Remember, a loss and a profit are not a loss or a profit until you close the trade. What were these dudes, these kids sitting in their basement going to do? Hold GameStop forever? How do you make your money? Well, I have to close it. I thought you were holding the line and never closing it. Well, of course. I told you last week this would be a Ponzi scheme. It would end in a ball of fire, and it did. Somebody is getting left holding the bag. People that bought GameStop at $350 or whatever are now looking at it at $80. Whoops. I told you this was going to end and not to do this. But do as I say, not as I do, because I did. I'm like, let me just buy. Nokia actually might be something. It's not a super foray, but it's close enough that I am going to take the hit on that. Look at it. Come on, guys. That ended spectacularly. It's down. What was the low today? 75. Could you imagine being one of these people last week? Like, hold the line. I'm going to buy, bought this thing at $500. And now it's people have gotten wiped out. So at the end of the day, love or hate Wall Street, there was a little bit of a care for the retail trader. Like, hey man, just know if you want to get into this thing all the way up here, it could go to zero. So we'll see over the coming days if there are a bunch of retail traders going apeshit that, holy crap, I'm broke now and somebody's to blame. Folks, this is a market. Okay, there's a buyer and a seller, and especially with these names like this, people who are sitting, or retail traders who really aren't familiar with this, sitting on a bunch of profit going, wait, I can't get out. Well, when there's a lot of sellers, there's no buyers. Liquidity kind of dries up, folks, when everybody stampedes near the door. So these retail traders looking at a nice profit on their shares, don't know that profit can disappear pretty quickly. I mean, on the way up, if you got in, God bless you. I saw on that board people, paid off their college loans or paid for their dad's cancer treatment stuff. So some people made out here and other people didn't. So welcome to the stock market. Real quick, let me close with China. Or this real quick. Israel sees 6 months before Iran's nuclear material breakout. Contradicting the Biden administration, that's all you need to know. This has a date in this headline. Israel will attack Iran. They said, Benjamin Netanyahu said, we will attack Iran. They will not get a nuclear weapon. Donald Trump said that. Joe Biden, maybe he'll do what his former boss did and fly billions of dollars in cash on unmarked airplanes in the middle of the night to Iranian mullahs. Good stuff. China, rattling their saber. There's a red line. Do not meddle in Hong Kong. Well, Trump already blew Hong Kong, folks. That was a disgrace. Disgraceful moment for Donald Trump for more or less not doing anything about Hong Kong. Matter of fact, at the beginning, he encouraged Xi Jinping to kind of crack down. Even as these folks were running around, 4 million protesters every weekend with America flags or MAGA hats or give me liberty, give me death spray paint. Well, they got death. Donald Trump fumbled that and empowered China to do this. And he just came around way too late. Now you got 10% for the big guy, or Hunter Biden with his crack pipe flying on Air Force Two with his dad to get a multi-billion-dollar deal for his hedge fund. I never talked to my son about any of this. He flew with you to China on Air Force Two, and you didn't ask what was going on. Of course, we all know that's a lie. But as I have predicted, new chart shows China would overtake the U.S. as the world's largest economy earlier than expected. I predicted that. China will beat the United States as the world's largest economic superpower in 2 years, 2 to 3 years. Isn't that sad? But in our portfolios, folks, you got to be bullish on a country that just does not care. Look at this. I have a long-term FXI is the iShares China ETF. Long-term bullish on the iShares China ETF. You got to be bullish on a country that does whatever it wants. Since that trade has been put on, it's up 23%. This is our primary trading portfolio. Remember, in a trading environment, you have to paper trade. Do not ever deploy real capital if you don't know what you're doing. This past week was a perfect example. I was stressing people. I'm getting texts from my buddies who own restaurants and stuff like, how do I buy a GameStop? I'm like, dude, first of all, you don't. And second of all, if you want to learn to trade, go open a paper trading account and play with some simulated money, because losing real money hurts. As a pilot, I didn't read a book on aerodynamics and jump into an airplane. I would have maybe got halfway down the runway before crashing, or not even getting airborne and then crashing. So paper trading account, but in our primary life trade brief training portfolio, it's up over 15 grand. It's great trades, good volatility trades. China, JP Morgan, Microsoft, we're a little flat on right now. Okay, I got to get going. Fantastic day here at Top Gun Options. We're having a blast. Like I said, join us for a free live trade brief on Friday. We're going to debrief the Amazon earnings, and I wanted to do it. I hate doing webinars on Friday. That's my day off, man, but I'm doing it so we can get Amazon earnings after the close today and see, because between now and Friday, folks, is a world of time in the market. Amazon could have blowout numbers, it could rip higher, and then by Friday sell off. So we're gonna debrief on Friday about the only stock you need to own in your portfolio. Go.topgunoptions.com/solo-brief. Okay? Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. Namaste. And happy birthday, Nicole.